Hey, what's up, you guys? So, I'm going to show you kind of the workflow that I've made for this project. I spent about 45 to an hour just figuring out how I was going to do this. I was really debating between just editing in Premiere and editing in Audition. And we're going to edit in Premiere just because I know it a little bit more than Audition. So I wanted to show you how my workflow is just because I like sharing workflows and I like sharing like my processes because it might help somebody. And if there's an audio engineer out there that's like, you're doing it wrong, I'm doing it the way that I want to do it. So take that with what you will. So I'm going to show you my main workspace. This is actually not my main workspace that I'm going to be using. The workspace I'm using is actually called the Ultimate Audio Edit, but you can't see the other screen because it's also, I have another screen that shows the thing. But here is where I'm going to be interlaying the stuff. So, and I've named each track down here. So we have Camera is track 1, Boom is track 2, Lucy's track 3, and Dodie is track 4. And how I figured this out, this is also where writing down audio notes is important. Did I know that I was going to be doing this when we were shooting? Yes. But also, I was directing, acting, and running an entire production myself. So, did I remember to tell my audio people, hey, can you take audio notes of which lav is whose? No, I did not. So, that's fine. I'm a problem solver. I can solve the problems. So, basically, what I've been having to do is go back and listen to who is louder in what scenario. So, it's pretty easy for me to figure out who is who. But there are some times I'm like, who does this belong to? It took me about an hour to figure out which lav belonged to who. But this is our main assembly, as you can see here. So, woo baby! Woo baby! And she's not done yet. We still have more to add to her. But how I figured this out is what I'm going to be doing is I'm nesting each scene. So my editor has color-coded each scene because she's amazing and I freaking love her. And she also has put little notes here to help me out along the way. Like it says, Lav's crunchy. Love that. I'll figure that out. We'll have to switch to boom audio or something. I don't know. But how I'm doing this is after we nest it, you just go into the project here and then it's all right here. So I'm leaving the camera audio up just so I can see what's going on, but I'm muting it. I think on future nests, I might actually delete the camera audio. I have my boom right here. We still use the boom for a lot of some of the takes. And then we have Eleanor, Cordelia, Jude, Rigby, Lucy, and then an 8th audio track, which is nothing. So, but there are takes and there are scenes where there is at least 8 people talking at once. So, yay me for writing that. So yeah. And then basically, so we'll go back to my ultimate edit and I'm showing you basically what I'm using. So parametric equalizer, which really raises the audio. We have a denoiser. I have denoise on every single one of them. De-reverb that helps not have the sound bounce so bad. And then amplify. I did amplify on the boom only just because it was very low in certain places. And then I put a de-esser on Jude's lav because this are really static and it's mainly on her lav too. So, And this is pretty much what I'm going to be using throughout the mix, pretty much. So basically, I've already heard a difference. So while I was working on the first scene sound, there's 4 people in the six technically. There's 6 people in the first scene. There's Cordelia, Lucy, Rigby, and Eleanor. And then a new character, Lydia, shows up, and she only says like 2 or 3 lines. And then, so we didn't have a lav on her, so she's getting the boom audio. And then we have Jude, who is a main character, who comes in, and we had a lav on her. So there were times where the actors were switching the lavs, and I think there was a time where we took Mel's lav off at the latter half of the scene and gave it to somebody else because we only had like 5 working lavs at the time. So that's going to be fun later on down the road, when there is a scene with literally 12 people in it and 5 people or 6 people talk in the scene. So I'm a writer, y'all. I'm a writer. So, but yeah, this is pretty much what I'm going to be doing. And then after that, I'm going to put everything back in the assembly. So this one right here will be the nested mix. This will be where the main mix will be at. Down below that will be sound effects. Down below that will be music. So basically, and then room tone will be down through here too. So I cannot stand editing room tone. So I'm actually going to fake the room tone, because the room tone that we got, I don't even think we even got it half the time. So I am just going to use like fake room tone from the websites that I'm going to get the sound effects and music from. Not really music because we have a composer, but mainly the sound effects from. So, and that seemed to work the best. That's literally what I did for House of the Rising Sun, and it worked. So I also just can't stand room tone in general. I think, like, okay, teaching moment. If you don't know what room tone is, or if you know what room tone is, skip ahead. But this is a teaching moment for those who don't know what it is. Basically, what room tone is, if you sit in your living room and you just sit in silence and you listen. So the humming of the refrigerator, if you have a fan going on, if you can hear the birds outside of your window, that's room tone. Whatever space that you're in has a sound effect to it, basically. Sometimes when you're cutting audio, you can hear the cuts. So room tone helps it not sound like that. I'd rather just fake the room tone, truthfully, with like for scene 1 specifically, we're in the mayor's office. So I'm literally just gonna find like some sort of office sound, and I'm just gonna throw it in there, and that's literally gonna be the sound of the office, because it's also design as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm designing the soundscape of my movie. And I think when you have the actual room that you shot the film in, it just doesn't make sense to me, and it just never works. And I think it sounds boring, and it sounds terrible to me. That is my opinion. You can have a different opinion, and your opinion will be fine to you. But that's me. Okay, I have my notes right here. So I have each channel and who the lavs and the boom who the lavs belong to. And then I have some kind of general notes down below that it's like room tone will need office sound with air conditioning. I kind of just like the air conditioning sound, so that might be in the office. And then sound effects, chessboard pieces moving. So that's pretty much this episode. Anyway, I hope you guys continue to stay. I don't know when the next vlog's gonna be up, so I'm just gonna work on this. I have to spend a lot of money to get good sound effects, so anyway, I'll catch you around next time. Peace.